Oh, they keep asking Moshi what happened by the forest, and Moshi's like, "Shut up! I don't want to talk about it." Um, no, they go. We finally go eat at the tavern. Yeah. Um. Oh yeah, I threw a ball bearing at Tsunori's head, and he took 6 points of damage.
Oh yeah, the big
He
reveal at
stuck
the
his
end.
finger in my pie. Damn it!
Yes,
I
I
was
did.
mad.
Tsunori got wasted.
Yeah, you did. Wow, it's a good thing I'm not reading this word for word. My writing. Oh my God. I'll read it word for word for you guys later. It's very mushy. um
Jesus Christ.
Butler goes down the hall. Yeah, Aya goes in. They snoop. Morning. Moshi was on the roof because he didn't want to have to share a room with Tsunori. So Soren finds Moshi and figures out that Moshi's little brother was killed. So
Killed.
killed.
In a tragedy.
And then oh, Moshi hugs Bert and Bert kisses him on the cheek. Moshi blushes and really appreciates that. That's what I have in my notes.
Bird.
Bert for the win.
The
Who
real
wins?
who.
Who wins the D&D session?
The real
Goes
hero
Bert.
of the campaign.
Let's see.
True.
Everybody wakes up. They get outside. Soren stops by the crafter, puts some gems in his sword, and then we head towards the mansion. That's it.
Oh, that's right. And we're going to confront a butler or something because the
I
butler's
guess.
sus.
I don't know. I was asleep and mad.
Last I remember, you were like, "Hey, where's Aya?" And you guys are like, "Aya still hasn't come back." And you're like, "Oh, probably should go find Aya. I was at the mansion because we don't actually have anything to confront Butler with." So,
All right. Why don't you all, if you haven't yet, roll your obligatory D100.
D100. Roll. I got a 95. I'm gonna do great today.
41.
Even though those rolls are completely arbitrary and I have no idea what the numbers mean.
What are they?
That's what you
mean?
think.
Whatever.
What's in
Watch,
the
we're just
box?
rolling them to roll them. We're not.
that's okay. The other campaign was like, "Oh, we'll find out eventually." It was like, "No, you won't."
No, you won't.
No, you won't.
Really won't.
Damn you arbitrary numbers. Yes, I'll roll a 16.
I got a
I was
41.
just about
At least
to
I
say,
wasn't the
what-
lowest.
What were you doing, Tsunori?
What am I doing?
How you doing this morning up to 16?
How you do?
Yeah.
Guys, look, I built Boba Fett's ship. Woo.
Is that Lego?
Yeah.
Sick.
It's a little Boba Fett ship. Slave one. But we can't call it Slave One anymore because we have to be sensitive to people who cancel things, I guess.
No comment.
Second, it was bought by Disney. I knew.
I know. It is now Boba Fett's starship.
Wow.
Oh,
Really
Very
rolls off the
creative.
tongue.
I know, right? It's just great. Like, so original.
I've never heard a more creative name in my entire life.
True.
All right. So if my memory serves me right, yeah, you guys had gotten up in the morning, and then Moshi had. Tish, give yourself 1 point of inspiration.
I'm inspired. I shall write an ode. An ode to the party.
Yeah.
I shall write
Yeah,
up my
and for
clues.
those of you that are new to the channel, the inspiration she can use or she can use herself or give to another player at any time to reroll rolls or provide advantage.
I'm not giving my inspiration away.
So then yeah, you guys were coming up on the mansion to reclaim Aya. You guys were staked outside, just outside of the property, trying to figure some strategy out. So as far as you know, she is alive. She is well. She is inside the mansion itself, and you guys are not. What would you like to do?
Hmm. I'll turn to someone and say, is there any sneaky shenanigans you can do to make sure that everything's okay inside?
Sneaky.
Did I cast twice at the end of last session for any reason? Because I have that I don't have any spell slots, but we just woke up.
Yeah, you should be fully.
cast.
Oh, you looked for Moshi
You did.
with
You
one of
looked
them.
for me. Mhm.
With what? With like a dusk walk? I'm assuming I think I teleported onto the roof with a dusk walk,
Yeah.
but I don't know why I would do that twice.
Okay, so yeah.
I don't think you
27.
did after you woke up. You had cast twice to give me Bert for as long as possible before you went to bed, which
Yeah.
might be why that's listed that way.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So I dusk walked. Okay, I do still have one then. I'm gonna kind of tilt my head at Zenori and I'll just kind of let's see, tap my hand to the ground and Bert and three of his buddies will through my palm and off and into the cracks
Nice.
in the street and slip underneath the door and start looking around.
All right. Go ahead and roll a perception for Bert
Perception for
or
Bert.
investigation.
Definitely investigation. That was
Oh,
I have a +7 and I rolled a 3.
Oh, wow.
So 10.
All right. So it takes about 10 or 15 minutes of Bert going through and then, of course, racking your memory and stuff like that of any last communications with Aya. And eventually, Bert happens across the kitchen where on a low-hanging shelf there is Aya and the Gemantieri, and they are hanging out like a girls' slumber party, and they're Aya is putting flowers and stuff in the Gemantieri's hair, and the Gemantieri is giving Aya like little sparklies all over.
All right, Bert's gonna kind of and kind of form next to them, like checking them out, and
Emily!
kind of tap Io on the shoulder.
I exist.
You exist.
Woo!
And
I
he's
don't know how I
gonna
got to the
kind of
Gemantieri.
give a quizzical look, tilt his head at Aya.
I'm gonna be like, "Hey, Bert," and give him like little head pets. Give him like a little flower.
Like head sinks down a little bit. And he's gonna
Gemantieri's gonna be like, who's your friend?
I'm gonna be
he's
like,
gonna
"This is."
quickly get behind Aya and look at her from from behind Aya.
I'm gonna be like, "This is Bert. He's a little shy, but he's a friend of one of the people that I travel with. He's
On the
made of
other end, I'm
shadow."
gonna be like leaning. I've got an arm around Zenori's shoulders, like kind of holding myself up while I look. And he's gonna wave.
So heavy.
And, the gym anterior is just gonna wave back to Bert and be like, "Well, hi. You don't have to be shy. You're safe here."
He likes to
eyes
help people
narrow.
out, and he likes accessories. And he's really good at building sandcastles.
And he's nodding very quickly.
So the gym anterior is just gonna look at UA and just be like, "I suppose this means you have to go then now, huh?"
It probably means that they're here. But I don't think we're leaving town today. So, we could probably hang out later if you'd like. Though, probably wouldn't be at the mansion.
Lena just vigorously nods. I'll come find you if you're still around town, but if not, I certainly hope you guys have safe travels.
We're certainly gonna try. We've got some stuff going on, but we're gonna fix it.
At the mention of stuff going on, Bert's gonna start like keeping an eye out, like looking around down at the floor. A little sentry, yep.
We're like, not here, Bert. In general.
Adorable. All right. Is there anything else that you wanted to do in the house, Aya, before you leave it?
Did I already ask her? Is there any way that I could ask her, like, what she knows about the butler? Like,
Oh,
since
yeah,
we didn't really find
so,
anything.
Yeah, you should probably know what happened in the night.
Yeah, considering what happened last was I was asleep in his light. I don't know how I
Yeah.
got on a shelf with the gementary.
Yeah, so, overnight, you had been awoken by the Gemantary. The Gemantary had sensed your presence, but also realized that you didn't mean any harm and stuff like that, and just like gently woke you up. And you guys got to talking in a safer space where the butler wasn't sleeping. And that
Probably
was
a good
the
idea.
intention. So you guys were up all night just chatting away. And what you had learned was the butler was helping facilitate the son stealing from the family empire. And they were smuggling, of course, stuff in and out of the town without the mother knowing. But the catch was the mother has known this whole time. She's just kind of been like whatever about it. And then he went and got himself killed. But the butler seemed really sad about that. So the question of if they were in a romantic relationship got raised. But Lena, the Julian Thierry, doesn't understand emotion well enough to have a solid answer for that.
Okay.
But all right, so you guys, so Aya, you now have essentially a neck collar of gems and bracelets of gems, just like on your actual skin, and a couple like in your hair, like little berets. And the gemantary has almost likewise, just with flowers. But you two part ways, and you follow Bert back to the group.
And the other three shades will join them on the way back, and they'll all be gawking over Aya's new bling.
Yes,
Well, Bert leads the way.
Now.
That sounds like an epic band name. Bert in the Shades.
Bert in the
It
Shades.
Up next.
I
And
feel
we'll
like
go
for
back to
your
the group.
character book, Brian, it's gonna be Bert in the Shades, a Thorn story.
I would love a little like mini epic about Bert.
Bert. Oh, just you wait.
Yes.
Just you wait.
Just a
He's gonna be
spin-off, it's
legendary.
just Bert.
Wait, did I go in? I haven't yet. Never mind.
Yeah.
I have something to do. Wait, no, I did. He did make it.
Yep.
Did I get my sword? I did get my sword back.
Mhm.
All right.
I'll be like, "Hi guys," like showing off my hair. How are you?
So shiny.
Wow. I got to see this before you guys, by the way. This is great. I was describing it kind of like while I was like but
I was like, oh my god, that's so pretty. Can I get some?
We
As in,
need a
like,
friend.
in her hair?
I'll give Ivania one of my little hair barrettes. You're like, here you go.
it'll hold like 2 strands of hair.
It's
It's the thought that counts, okay?
Bert's like jumping for joy on
It will
Soren's
perfectly hold
shoulder.
down a cowlick.
Oh, hey, you guys want to see something really cool?
Sure.
Soren like kind of starts floating a little higher, and he's gonna kind of brandish the sword. He's gonna swing it around his hand, and he reaches his arm out to the side, and he goes, "Bert!" and he drops it. And as the blade starts falling, Bert rolls down his arm and latches himself into the center of the sword, and it starts spinning, and the flames go whoosh, and it starts floating around and doing these little spins and flourishes. And I'm like, isn't that cool? I didn't think it was gonna work, but Bert loves it.
The sword is sentient now. Good God.
It's Bert's swordship.
Somebody toss something in the air. I want to give him a chance to swing at something.
Ugh.
And Soren's like crouched down. He's like ready.
Vanya
Bert's
tosses
just like all excited. You just hear Bert like chittering and laughing and playing.
Vanya
Now he has a
tosses a bag
flying
of
sword.
rations up.
A bag of rations.
Yeah.
All right, can I make like a long sword attack at it?
I mean, does one of us have like an apple or something? Come on, like
That's a 21.
Oh! Got destroyed.
It almost feels like Bert's done this before, but he really hasn't.
Oh no.
You just hear this little cheer.
blade.
Sliced straight in half, and Bert's. Oh, that's awesome. All right, come back, Bert, and I'll like reach up my hand, and he'll come and put put the grip in my hand, and he'll roll back up my shoulder and sit there. Oh, that was so cool.
Bert's
I'm excited to use
just
this.
like you just feel Bert's energy.
Oh yeah, he's like doing a little dance on my shoulder.
Little Bert victory dance. I love it.
Oh yeah.
All right. What would you guys like to do now?
Sir, is there anything we still need to clean up here?
If we're not leaving immediately, Lena's gonna come hang out with us later. But I do have answers to why Butler looked guilty. And he may or may not have been romantically involved with the son. I don't know.
And done something to him?
Well, did something with him that got the son killed, which is probably why he looks so guilty, but the mom also knew, so like there's also nothing really to solve here since everybody knows why he died. So yeah.
Zenori looks perplexed. He's like, wait. The butler was romantically involved with the son.
I mean, potentially. So, like, Lena doesn't understand emotions the way that I understand emotions at the moment. So, like, she doesn't understand what romance is. So, I don't know if they were, but they definitely had a business relationship because he was stealing from the family business and the butler was helping, and that got him murdered. And the mom didn't know, but it turns out the mom did know, and they didn't know that the mom knew. So, everyone knew, and everyone knows why he died. So, like,
Sonori feels like he's in one of those murder mystery novels right now.
Moshi's zoning out. He's like, he doesn't really care.
I think this is it, guys. We are in a murder mystery at this point.
but yeah, Lena is the Gemma theory, the one who like knew all of the information, the one that you saw the other day. So, like, if we're not leaving immediately, they'll meet us later.
Well, this is bringing a whole new dynamic. I thought that maybe the woman was involved with the butler and not the son. And what is
Zunari, I
life?
need you to roll a perception check for me.
Okay.
Soren's sitting here knocking his forehead, like thinking, trying to think through all the possibilities.
Moshi's not even listening. He's just
I
like,
will allow a dexterity or acrobatics.
what? What's going on?
Or
Save?
athletics, one of those. Yeah. Either dexterity
Save?
or athletics or acrobatics.
Better be athletics then. Sweet.
So you hear a very familiar clip plop galloping on the ground. There's a very familiar Ecurid just pounces you. And he still pounces you and slams you to the ground, but you saw it coming, so you braced yourself and you just have spot all over you.
Aww.
And disgruntled a very disgruntled stable master is following all of your guys' mounts as they have returned, and he's like, I've been wondering why they've been like banging at the doors all afternoon. You know what? They're your problem now because they were just a handful. And Moshi, your mount is just like rude.
Rude.
Aww.
I have missed you.
I'm gonna float over and pet Scorch.
And Natters also rejoins you guys as well.
Natters!
Let's go.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Natters! It's been too
Sonori's
long.
having a cute overload.
The second Natters touches the ground, Bert is gonna just shoot down Soren's body and whoop, straight up on top of Natters.
I'm gonna race Bert to reach Natters.
Why don't
Bird's
you
like-
both roll an athletics check?
Athletics.
Oh god, this is not a good one for me.
It's a good one for me.
Or I will accept acrobatics as well, Amberle.
Oh, I will absolutely do acrobatics instead.
There we go. It's more fair now. Ooh,
Hey.
just short.
Oh,
Damn.
so you were blazingly fast especially for your size, but Bert had the one advantage of being able to ride Natter's shadow crust. And when you thought you had him beat, he slipped in and slipped right in front of you.
Damn.
Those
Well,
are
that just means
legendary
we've got a
dance.
Bert sandwich now.
Yeah. And as you're climbing up on top of Natters, and Bert had beat you, he does extend like a little shadow paw out to you to invite you to ride with.
I will absolutely take the shadow paw.
And meanwhile, Natters is just like, okay.
And Bert's gonna just bury himself in the feathers and hug as much as he can.
Does Nutter still have the little protection thingy? I don't remember. It was like a necklace or something I gave him.
That was after his injury, right?
Yes. But before he
Good.
left this last time, and I was like, hey, if this starts to light up, like, I don't know how close it is, but get
Yes,
out of
he
there.
does still have it.
Cool.
Cool.
And Vanya had pedals, so I'm not even worried about Vanya.
Yeah. Vanya has pedaled the whole entire time.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Pedal didn't give the stable master a chance. He's just like, I know he's here.
I can smell him. But yeah, I'll give my Eki Ren big scratches. And then I'll walk over to Nadders and say, looks like you've still got it, little buddy.
And he's just gonna, do click his beak and then look down at the other two.
Very cute. Well, we should retire to somewhere so we can put our notes together. This has got a little too confusing. Now I'm having conspiracy thoughts about this all being connected. Like,
Conspiracy thoughts.
Are there any taverns or anything
Like,
we
just
could
came
sit
from
down
one.
at?
Did you just sleep in
Oh
one?
wait, yeah.
We
I'm
literally
trying to think
just
of another
came
one.
from
Give us some variety. I didn't eat any of the food, but
There are a couple of eateries that
Pretty good, actually.
Yeah, the tavern itself is the main one, and that's where all the best chefs are because that's where a lot of their miners like to go, and any travelers they do have. But there are a couple of different eateries in the area as well.
shall we pick one and get going?
mm.
What's the
Let's do
closest
that.
one?
Probably where we just came from.
No, we walked a little bit from it, right?
Oh, okay.
You did walk a little bit from it, but it was placed that tavern is strategically in the middle of town, and there's a road that leads, there's a path that leads directly from the center of town to the Lord's mansion property. Estate words.
Then maybe we just go back.
What time is it again? Is it in the
Early
morning?
afternoon.
Oh, it's early
Or actually, I'd
afternoon,
say
okay.
just before noon. Late morning.
All right. Let us go get some breakfast. Or brunch, whatever you call it.
Brunch would probably be more fitting.
Second breakfast.
That
One
works
of us
too.
is cultured in here.
11Z's.
Recess.
You guys make your way back to the tavern, and the brunch and second breakfast 11Z's menu is a little bit limited, but it's mostly an assortment of eggs or omelets and fruit.
The meat.
Yeah,
Normally
we
is-
can throw some pulled pork into the omelet if you want.
Just
Pulled pork omelet?
Normally
Yes,
is a
yes,
very-
please. Yes. I think he needs it.
Oh, Zenori? Yeah. He needs it. We need to keep
He's a
our
growing
strength up.
boy.
Even when I'll have like the food in front of me, I'm like so perplexed by the mystery that I'm like putting like slowly putting scarix of food in my mouth, but I'm like, "Ugh," as opposed to just grabbing handfuls and shoving it in my face.
Oh,
I
and
don't know
you're
how long
hungover,
he's
aren't
been
you?
out. Let's see.
No,
Yeah,
it's I'm stuck in the mystery. Like I'm like trying to put it all
Oh,
together.
okay,
I'm
but
like,
are you also hungover, or did you save yourself?
You drank a lot last night.
Hold on,
apparently
we're
I
making the
drank
chat
a lot.
right.
You
Yeah.
were super drunk and making me very angry.
I think I made my con save, but I think the con save was to see if I got hungover or completely obliterated.
You
One of the
did.
two.
I do see it. You did. Okay? So you are not hungover. Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right. Just had to
Yeah,
make
I
sure.
think it. You
But I'm pretty
described it
sure
because,
you have like
alcohol.
a big welt on the back of your head from
Oh,
where
you know it. You know
Yeah,
it.
I think you explained when they made their save that it's because it got put in his like green juice. It like counteracted itself.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
While we're sitting at the table, I'm gonna have Bert out in front of me, and I'm gonna be like holding out my palms and summoning a little bit of eldritch energy, and he's gonna like reach out and try to like grab it, and we're just gonna like play back and forth, like pushing the fires in between us.
So are we in the tavern now? Sitting down.
You
Mhm.
Yeah, you guys are sitting down. Food's ordered. You guys have a jug of hot bean juice.
Perplexed. So let me.
Actually, Moshi had like a tea last night and he really wants that again. So he orders that instead of hot bean juice if it's available.
The tavern owner was happy to oblige.
Oh, it was really good.
So are we going to you said that your friend was gonna meet us at some point if we stuck around?
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
the Gemmentary that served the family that's there. She's the one that ended up giving me a lot of information because I didn't actually find anything in his room. So then I was going to stay there and follow him when he woke up to figure out what the hell was going on. But she like found me in the house and was like cool with me being there because there's like not a lot of Aunt Therese. And so then we stayed up all night and we had like tea and biscuits and she just filled me in. So then I got all of the information anyways.
I'm happy we could find one of your kind.
Yes. I'm so excited. Like
I
obviously
was
she's
too.
not obviously she's not the same kind as me, but she's so nice. But she also doesn't understand human interaction as much as I do at this point because like I've hung out with you guys a whole bunch, so now I understand better.
Yeah, you were a little standoffish when you first met us.
Oh yeah, because I had never hung out with people before, so
I like to think we helped you turn a new leaf.
Oh.
to
be fair, I'm not a human.
I love it so much.
Amazing.
Oh, off the top of the dome.
I'm gonna be like, I like that. And like give him a flower that has like the leaf still like around the actual head of it. Be like, here, no, you can have a new leaf too.
All right, and I'm gonna stick it in like one of the sewn parts of my satchel.
Moshi just quietly drinks his tea.
Who are you people?
He had an emotional morning, by the way, so
yeah.
he's still not very talkative.
Sorna's very much trying to give him a little space.
I'll pretty much be. I'll revise our notes and I'll be like, so let me get this straight. Son was involved in criminal activity. Butler assisted in some way and probably was involved in some way, maybe romantically, and assisted said son. Mother knows about it, but doesn't do anything. Then son dies, and the butler feels bad about it, but not the mother? Huh?
I think the mother also does.
Well, so I think she feels bad that she lost her son. Not so much
But I feel like she
that-
was kind of expecting it.
Yeah, because he chose to steal from the family business and sell it essentially to like criminals, right? So like it's probably something she was expecting to happen. But because the butler helped enable him, the butler feels more guilty than the mom does about the fact that he died that way. Not that he's gone. But yeah, he essentially was stealing from the family and smuggling the goods. And then because the butler runs the books and everything, the butler was probably fudging the numbers. That way it didn't look like stuff was being taken, but probably didn't do such a good job about it, which is how the mom found out. But they didn't know that the mom knew because the mom didn't say anything. So they thought they were getting away with it, but she knew that they were doing it.
This is why I left my family. This rich people stuff.
Oh, you don't mean that.
Oh, Sorn. Sweet innocent Sorn.
Now Soren's having an existential crisis a little bit. He's got he put his hands up to his temples. What do you mean?
I think you should get biscuits. Biscuits make the story better. Like eating popcorn during events.
I'm gonna ask the waiter for biscuits.
There's a waiter?
Isn't there? There's the
Barkeep.
barkeep. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask the barkeep for
Biscuits.
popcorn.
You're gonna ask barkeep
popcorn.
for what?
Biscuits.
Well, biscuits, but what about you, Sonori?
Popcorn. 'Cause
Popcorn.
Is that a
I
thing?
just said popcorn. I was like,
There's got to be some
Popcorn.
equivalent in this universe.
pop grain.
So you go through extensive detail trying to describe this thing that Aya was talking about, and the barkeep's just like, I don't have anything like that here, but we got a few different kinds of biscuits. The bakery just dropped some stuff off.
The what?
You-
The,
Oh no.
the bakery?
Yeah.
Where
yes.
is this bakery of which you speak?
I've unlocked my trump
Right.
card.
Right down the street.
Oh, okay, cool, thanks. Moshi's leaving to the bakery.
I'm sending one of my
Just
shades.
chugs
I'm
the
sending one
tea.
of my shades with Moshi.
Moshi just chugs the tea and goes, see you guys later.
Can I stealth to have one of my shades hop on him without him noticing?
Oh, come on.
You may, but Moshi may also roll a perception.
All right.
I'm gonna roll perception.
Oof.
Where
That one.
is
Oh!
the perception?
Please roll in that one. Ah.
So the shade tried to attach itself to Moshi, but unbeknownst to you, until they started walking away from each other, the shade actually attached itself to the innkeeper.
Oh,
Oops.
ooh, Moshi like makes grabbing motions to like get it back, and he's like, I can't grab a shadow.
And then he'll hop over to Moshi's hand and then roll up his shoulder.
Who is this? Is this not? This is not Bert.
It's not Bert. It's not Bert. It's a random one.
Oh,
Hey,
hello,
he might
not Bert.
earn his name today. Okay, give him a
Come
chance.
with me, and you will find your name. Peace, guys.
And the shade's gonna wave wave to all of us as it goes.
Amazing. All right, so yeah, Moshi and them take off. We'll follow them in a second.
So, should we wait for your little gem and teary friend? Do they have a name, by the way? I feel.
Lena.
Sorry?
Their name is Lena.
Lena.
Yep.
Should we wait for Lena? Or should we be a bit more direct and just go get the butler and have a nice, good talking to him?
Maybe we could ask the friend when we meet up, when the friend leaves, so we don't risk, talking about it somewhere where the butler could hear.
Hmm.
And we kind of get some advice from Lena. While we're doing this, I have my palm held out, and my remaining shades and Bert are picking pieces off of the biscuit and tossing them onto my hand, and they're disintegrating as they fall because I'm like sucking the aether out, and they're just turning to ash and puffing away like I'm just popping popcorn.
Perfect. I'll be like, see, biscuit makes stories time. Totally better.
That was a really good idea, Aya. What do you think of Anya?
Think about what though?
How we should proceed? Do you have anything else you need to do?
Not really. Honestly, I just need to make sure this ring doesn't give me any more trouble, and now we just get it figured. We now have like this weird murder mystery on our hands. And
on top of whatever happened in the forest.
Oh, too bad we don't still have the head. You could show it to the butler.
We gave that back.
I know, over to the guards, but if we had the head, we'd know if it was like the guy he was selling it to. You know what I mean?
Come to think of it, they didn't have a whole lot of money on them.
Yeah.
If they were buying valuable things from a powerful family.
And there was also no goods there.
Are they on the way down or out?
Well, I mean, it also doesn't mean that like they weren't meeting up because they like were planning on blackmailing the son or something. So like it could still be the people he was selling to, but they got greedy or something. Right?
Mm-hmm. It could also be.
But like the person that would know that's still alive would be the butler, but we don't have the head anymore because you made me turn the head over.
I'm sure we could remember what he looks like and ask the butler for a description if we determine that's, the right path we should take once we talk to your friend.
Fair enough.
We need more information.
And I think showing a head to somebody is a little bit too on the nose.
You mean like how Soren did it the first time that we went to the Hunters Guild? Yeah.
I'm gonna pull off my head with my free hand and hold it out to Vanya.
You can scare him into talking. He would be so shocked that he saw a head, he'd just tell you the truth.
Wow.
Tilt my head in agreement and then put it back on my neck.
Plus, if you think about it, it's kind of partially his fault he's dead. So if you make him feel worse about it, does it really matter?
I know you think that I have the subtlety of a brick, but you're giving brick vibes right now.
At least I'm not trying to bury him alive.
The talking rock laughing at somebody being called a brick.
I could be less subtle.
No, I don't think we need to. Given I think he feels bad enough. From what I saw, he is plenty guilty, or feels guilt, rather. Though I do want confirmation. There's something strange now that I think about it. About the mother. It doesn't seem correct. I completely understand etiquette, but it was more than etiquette with her.
It was secrecy.
It's always the stuff with high mighty families. Vanya speaking from experience.
I can go stalk her next.
Stalk me?
You know what? You don't have a bad idea there. That could be on the cards. Let's finish up brunch. We'll wait for your friend.
We should go meet at the park or something that we stopped at that one time. We stopped at like a small park, right, to gather ourselves when we first got in.
We ended up out by the edge of the forest because Ivania almost
That was
got.
when we first got in, like there was a lot going on, and to like gather ourselves, I'm pretty sure we stopped at like a small park thing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I don't
we should
Yeah,
go
remember
back
that's like
there.
little water fountain.
You think they knew we were coming? Like, we did get snuck up on that day.
Well, we also
The
kind of made a lot of noise with that gate.
we did because I busted open the door.
I suppose that's fair.
That was probably my fault. Subtlety of a rock. Then I'm gonna start getting up. I'll let all my shades roll up my shoulder and sit up there, and I'll start leading the way back to the park. Oh, I'll pay for all the food too.
All right, that
Um,
is
Can we see Moshi? Because I'll just be like giving hand signals, like we're going this way.
Moshi has a shade with him. We'll
Mhm.
be
Oh,
he'll be
okay.
good.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm in the bakery already, man.
yeah. I
We'll
can't
get there.
see you.
The shade
I
can get
can't
him
see
though.
you.
No, I mean like that's what Moshi's like doing. Okay,
Soren, or that's right,
It's bakery.
Zenori, roll an investigation.
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 Nope.
Are you sure you're not still hungover? All right. Let's follow Moshi after a quick wellness break. So we'll be back here at the top of the hour.
Yep.
Burb.
We're going to Moshi now, aren't we?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I will not turn back on my camera.
Now that we are back, also I'm noticing the emotes are really weird. I think Twitch did like some sort of update or something. I don't
Is that the
know.
one I posted?
Yeah, it
Which
looks
one?
wonky on your end.
Yeah, because I did it. I did the wonky. I
You did the
modified
wonky?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can like use points to modify them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because on my end, in Streamlabs, all my emotes are locked, and it's like they're my emotes. Why are they locked for me?
Yeah.
So, all right, no worries. Okay, so as long as that's intentional, because I was gonna be like, do I need to like re-upload all the emotes? I need to make more emotes, is what I need to do. I got a whole list I gotta make. That's fine. But anyway, so yes, we are back. So Moshi,
Nope.
you managed to grab the shade that was supposed to trail you. And as you're walking out, you see the shade just wave back at Sorn somberly and sad like.
Hey, we're gonna have fun on this trip. I mean, you don't have to come with me, I guess.
And
So
and
roll
she
in-
roll
What?
what?
I was gonna say roll insight.
Insight? Me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Insight. It must be right. Oh, baby. Not good.
So all you see is just like the eyebrows furrow, and you feel it glaring at you.
Oh, well, look, I've had a rough morning. You can just be quiet.
She's gonna
Just
and plop down on Moshi's shoulder.
Fine, go ahead, Soul. No, I don't say that. Or she doesn't say that. He thinks that. Well, Moshi exits the tavern.
and it does not take you very long at all to the moment you walk. Yep, you follow your nose. You walk out and just get smacked in the face with that steam that floats from the pies in the windows.
Oh, the what? Ooh. So where am I going?
A couple of doors down, you
All right.
find
Can you smell that? Can you smell? Oh, that's too bad. Oh, you can? Oh. Does that smell good? Kind of okay. It's just a
Kind of
smell.
plops down.
Okay, well, I just wanted it, I know. Anyway.
so the
Smells good to
bakery
me.
the bakery that you come across, instead of having a single door, both of the walls that are facing the street are, either rolled up or removed entirely, and you just come across this large glass cabinet that's at least like 10 or 15 people standing side to side long. And there's a line, and
Where's this line?
it's crowded.
I can't see. Motion
You hear
weasels.
almost you hear a really tiny, exasperated.
Well, can you see?
Gonna.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Well, I can't see, so
You
Eventually-
gather it was the sigh was less at you and more at the amount of people that we wouldn't have to wait for.
oh. Well, the thing is I'm tiny, so kind of like, well, no, you're tinier than me, but the tininess can come in handy. Let's weasel in. Moshi weasels in.
Sneak.
I just want to see the stuff. Like I'm not getting in line yet.
So, well, even though you're not getting in line, the way it is, you can tell that either there's a few different lines or it's just the crowd in general. There's about 4 people behind the bakery counter. And so they're helping multiple people at once. But so in order for you to see what's going, to see the display and see what's available, you do have to squeeze in between people, and they
All
may
right.
not be happy about that.
Well, I'm gonna do it. So I want to see.
So,
Excuse me, pardon me. I'm not cutting. I just want to see what's
The
here.
shade's
I'm
gonna be
new in
angrily
town.
pushing people. That anything that's in the shade's reach. Just gonna...
It's okay. We gotta be cool first, because if you show your hand too quickly, then people clam up on you. Okay, so
She rolls her eyes and puts up her little nubs.
you know.
She doesn't have hands.
I'm sorry. Moshi loves this display of ferocity. I admire your passion, but not now.
Just back down.
Alright, so you squeeze through, you manage to sneak your way or weasel your way through the crowd, and that you want
Can
to
a
see
cat
what's up.
weasel?
Yeah, right. But since you supposedly just want to see what's available, the lady that you squeeze right up next to in front of the counter, she's like, "Oh, absolutely," and she just kind of steps aside a little bit to give you a little bit more room to see. And what you see is several different levels of shelves within the glass cabinet, and you see pastries and swirled danishes and cinnamon rolls, and just and rolls that some savory rolls, the ones that can have like
Mm-hmm.
the cheese and ham and stuff like that. You see an assortment of like pastries that are like donuts, and some of them are filled with what appears to be a fruit jelly. You also see different pies. Some of them are fruit pies. Some of them you assume are meat pies. And of course, the cookies and baguettes and
Oh my god. Moshi's like senses are like he's smelling all this goodness. He's like that smells
The
so
shade's
good.
intently watching to wait and see what he likes most.
Let's see. Moshi looking. Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is a good place. Okay. What do I get? Oh, I better get in line. Oops. Excuse me. I tapped the lady. Where's the line? Sorry.
She kind of looks back and around you. She's like, maybe you better just wait here.
Oh,
She
okay.
gives you
Cool.
that.
So, like, what's the best thing here?
And she's gonna be like, "Well, do you want sweet or salty right
Oh, sweet for sure.
now?" She's gonna be like, "They have these cinnamon rolls that have little nuts in them, and they're so soft you can't hold them very tightly, or you're gonna smoosh them."
What? Oh my God, those are coming back. For sure.
And
I don't
she's
know.
gonna
Those
be like, and they also have an amazing, essentially the apple turnover equivalent,
oh, yeah,
drizzled with
that's
honey
happening.
and caramel.
Okay, this is Moshi's like Moshi's just imagining all these things like, wow, that sounds amazing.
The shade is
middle-
gone.
It's gone.
The shade's gone.
And in the middle of your days, and then the slight panic, you hear, "What do you want?" And you see a face right in front of you on the other side of the counter. "Can we help you, or do you need to get out of the way?"
I lost a shade.
Excuse me?
Nothing. I'll take uh an apple pie, 2 cinnamon rolls, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 donuts.
What flavor of donuts you want? We got
What do you got?
chocolate, we got sugar, we got jelly filled, we got she just
Well, one of I don't know, one of each. Just different ones. Just you decide.
And she'd be
Whatever
like,
your best
"Okay,
ones are.
do you got a basket or do you need a basket?"
Oh, I would love a basket. Thank you.
She'd be like, "That's five copper. That okay with you?"
That's fine.
You're like, "All right." And she fills up the basket and hands it back to you. And
Why, thank you.
in total, your purchase was 20 copper.
Can I roll to have the shade jump up into the display case and suck the aether out of one of the cinnamon rolls?
You may.
What do I need to roll?
Oh my god.
I'm gonna have you roll a stealth and an arcana.
11 on stealth. And if I can see my sheet, it's being covered up right now. There we go. Arcana 23.
Do I see any of this? Do I see it?
You may roll a perception.
Ugh.
So you're still in the days of just this amazing goodness that is happening this morning. But the lady that's getting your stuff is, her face is like down in the counter. She's grabbing from the shelves, and all of a sudden she sees one of the cinnamon rolls just disintegrate before her eyes. Just like on the shelf.
Do I see that? Do I see that?
You don't see that specifically, but you see her get up like, I need some more hot bean juice, and hands you your basket.
Are you okay?
She'll be like, I'm seeing stuff this morning.
On the other end,
it's been a morning
with the
actually.
others. On the other end with the others, Soren just like perks up for a second. He goes, "That was amazing." What was that? And the shade is gonna right back to Moshi's shoulder, very satisfied with herself.
There you are. What happened to you?
Go ahead.
Turns away so she's facing off of Moshi's shoulder and sits down, arms crossed.
Okay. Well, I got you something, but
Slow look over the shoulder, arms still crossed.
well, I don't know where you went. I got you a cinnamon roll because they looked really good. Well, I got 2 cinnamon rolls. I got one for me, one for you.
And she'll still keep the pose, but turn around to face you at least.
Okay, all right, yeah. See, I'm getting somewhere. Yeah, see, I'm not a bad. See, it's not all bad. It's not an all bad experience here. See, we're fine. All right, so I got my basket. So I got my basket of goods. Is that I have my basket now?
Yeah, you have your
I'm
basket,
asking.
you paid,
Okay.
you listened to the lady vent a little bit, and managed to work your way back out of the crowd. As you're leaving the crowd, you do see familiar heads bobbling, going down the path.
Familiar heads. Oh, like these guys?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm ignoring them. Yeah. So, like, do you want to go back to the party? Because I kind of don't. You want to go explore?
She's gonna get a little closer and like tug his ear, but she was told to stay with him, so
What do
she'll
you
sit
want
back
to do?
down.
I mean, we don't have to go far if you don't want to go far. I just don't want to go back because I just need like some time by myself, I mean, I don't know if you know what that's like, but haven't you wanted to just be by yourself? Really? You never just want to be by yourself? Oh, then you just don't like me. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I know. Sometimes I don't like me either. But that's okay. All right, let's go.
Rolls eyes and
Oh, I'm not being melodramatic. You shush.
This is what happens when salt means
back in my
salt.
face by a shade. All right, let's go. You come with me, and or you don't get your cinnamon roll because I don't have to give that to you. You know.
Sits facing forward.
All right.
Where are we going?
Well, I don't know. What's around? Maybe we'll just
What are the
walk.
other options?
Maybe we'll just walk around. I don't know. Let's just go explore. Let's explore the town. Moshi just starts to walk around.
Small sigh.
Well, what do you want to do? Because you didn't tell me. So, all right. Well, I'm gonna walk, and you point at something if you think it's interesting, okay? And I'll stop. What am I walking by?
Go ahead and roll me another investigation.
Investigation. Investigation.
I'm gonna whisper you real quick, Richelle.
Alright. Ready.
Take a bite of my dinner.
Yes, food.
Oh boy.
So, you guys are passing by an assortment of the nicer shops, where you guys kind of were yesterday.
Cool.
You walk by the same jewelry shop that Ivania ran out of yesterday.
I had no part of that, so I don't think they know what I look like.
Well, she does it, and she's like, "Hey, I'm running some deals. I got a lot of inventory. I need to get out. If you want to come in and see what I got, and you can sell it to your customers." And
the shade's gonna sink down behind Moshi and like his hood.
I think I'll pass, but thanks.
He starts tugging his hair. Or she starts tugging his.
You want to go in? Yeah. Oh, yes, I'll go in. Yes. I would like to show me your wares. Sure.
So the lady starts going into an extravagant spiel that she has been, obviously worked on before.
Mm-hmm.
It is very clear that she thinks that you are a trader and, interested in buying in bulk and large, like, 100 rings as opposed to maybe just one for special someone or something like that. But while she's talking, Soren, roll me an investigation real quick for...
All right. 21.
That's what I thought. All right. You notice that the shade is up to no good.
Oh.
And she kind of disappeared for a little bit. Roll me a perception. Let's see how much you see.
No. Perception. Please percept. Really good perception too.
Your shade may need help. I will allow a performance roll.
Wait, I have inspiration. I forgot I have inspiration. Will I use it? I'll use it now. Why not? I can use it now. So I just roll perception again, or am I rolling performance?
No, you roll perception. The shade can buffer with performance if they would like.
Oh yes, much better.
All right. So having caught on to the shenanigans at the bakery just a little bit, you get a closer eye on her, and you realize she dipped into one of the cabinets that have like a whole bunch of necklace pendants and stuff like that. And there was one pendant in particular that seemed to be just a very elegant shaped rock, not necessarily a precious gem. You don't recognize it right away, but the shade just like deadpan blasted to it essentially. And then sorry, roll stealth for your shade real quick.
Well,
All right, that's not
I'll
as
be
bad
like,
as the last
what
one.
about these rings over here? This one looks good.
Now give me a performance.
Me? Damn it.
Yes. Actually, oh my god, I was just about to say, you get advantage because you're in a trade situation right now, aren't you?
Oh yeah,
You're bargaining.
I'll go with that.
Technically. Yeah, you're technically in the middle of bargaining
Ah,
right now.
woo.
There we go.
Ooh.
Saved.
Having done this hustle before, you and the shade somehow managed to coordinate to where the lady is giving her spiel and is just, showing you a lot of the fine larger collections that she has available, and she's very in the middle of her performance while
Mhm.
you just
Yes, these rings. Yes, these over here. These.
and you distract her well enough. I'm not even going to ask for a sleight of hand check. That the shade, is pointing out like this necklace, and is able to grab the necklace. You slide open the back door on the other side of the counter, and the shade comes out with the necklace and comes back up on your neck.
Like slips down into the hood.
What over here? All right.
And the lady's like, so, I think if you want this one, I could probably do that for you. I could do about 7,000 for them.
I'm talking to the shade. Okay, 1 tug on my hair, yes. 2 tugs, no. All right. Do you want the ring? Yeah, I'll take it.
Wait.
Oh, fantastic! So 7,000 gold?
That that's really a lot. I mean,
2
I'm not even
tugs.
sure. Yeah, I'm not really sure like where this came from, if it's like a legitimate, sometimes papers come with these things, so I'm gonna have to take a piss, but it's really pretty.
And she's gonna be like, oh, well, if you didn't mean serious business, then the door's right over there.
Oh, serious business. I just talked to you about papers and like real business
Like,
things.
The shade is now also very indignant.
What do I have in my arsenal? What do I have?
The shade has deposited the necklace and is already on the ground going for more.
No. Oh. Okay.
Hold on.
I have charm person. Can I do that? Can I cast that?
You can certainly try.
Damn it. Okay. Come on.
It's a wisdom save, so she has to beat a 12.
Oh.
It's
wait,
you don't
what
roll
is-
anything. The
I don't roll
NPC
anything?
does. Yeah, the NPC does.
Oh.
Bats
okay.
eyelashes.
Yeah, that's what
Oh!
yes. Oh my god. Yeah, that's my charm person. I named it Bad Eyelash.
Oh my gosh.
What seemed like a stroke of absolute luck. The lady looks down and it's like, oh my god, is that a mouse? But then you pat your eyelashes and a little ting ding 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 ding, a little sparkle shoots off of them. Let's see here.
You have the most amazing store. I've never seen inventory like this. It's just incredible.
And be like, well, thank you. I worked very hard on it.
Yeah. I mean, these rings are so gorgeous. Like this one I was looking at earlier. I think you want to offer it to me for only 100 gold though, because you don't have the paperwork involved.
Okay, sorry, say that one more time for me. I was just double checking the spell. Say that one more time. Sorry.
And that ring you were showing me earlier, one of a kind. But I think you want to offer it to me for 100 gold.
And she's gonna be like, "Oh, hey, look, I just met you, but you do seem like an amazing trader. So, I mean, I guess I could do that for you, but don't tell
Oh, that
anyone
would be
else because I still have a
not
business
a
to run."
chance. And my status as a merchant, I will bring my business to you. So this great deal just got even greater for you.
She's like, "All right, well, here you go."
Thank you. Let's go. Wait, how long does this last?
Charm
1 hour.
person lasts an hour.
Oh,
But
sweet.
they
They regard you as a friendly acquaintance.
Oh my gosh. I mean, talk about this merchant stuff. It can get really tough, can it?
She's like, "Yeah, especially keeping all the vagrants and street rats out."
What? You have problems with vagrants? Man, this seems like such a nice town.
Shade's gonna try to grab a bracelet.
Get the other one.
All right, just do a sleight of hand sword.
All right. Ooh, nice.
I mean,
I was scared.
oh. Grab something expensive.
She starts going on this spiel. Yeah, there was this one street rat that just came in yesterday. Must have been a traveler, and they had the gall to try and sell me a missing person's ring. Like, I don't already know the family.
Who does that? And then I remember, I'm like, oh, I don't know who that is. Who does that? That's the meanest thing. I mean, wow, talk about trying to scam you.
That's us again.
And she's
I
like,
mean,
I know, and I thought my life was in danger, and then the cards finally showed up. They always take for, and she just continues on.
I mean, at least you have some law enforcement in this town. Man, I came from somewhere that barely had anybody. And there's this one guy who always is traveling with us who thinks he's super great at law enforcement, but whoa, no. He is has no idea what's going on. Man, I totally get it.
They just like
the same people.
You feel some new weight in your hood and another tug on the hair.
Oh, okay. Perhaps it is time to leave.
She's like, well, it was so great to talk to you. Come on.
I'm waiting for a tug or two.
Tug again.
Oh, okay. Okay. Before you go, or before I go, sorry. Before I leave, I just want to tell you, this is such a fantastic shop. What great service. And I think you're one of the nicest merchants that I've ever met. Your stock is great and the service and just, it's amazing. You know what? Do you think I could get another really expensive item that I have no idea what's in this store so that I can show it to the people that I deal with to entice them to come visit your shop in the future?
She's gonna be like, well, I do have this necklace that I won't part for with any less than 10,000 gold.
What does it look like? You can just describe it to me, no worries.
And she just kind of gestures over to this elaborate display case.
Oh, is it
to her
is it
right?
in there?
Oh yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
You didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah, but she just like gestures over, like
Oh my
and
gosh.
it's one of those.
How did you come
Jill
by these
collars.
beautiful things? You must be an incredible bargainer.
And she's like, well, we it does run in the family.
Oh my gosh. This talent is generational. This is amazing.
The flattery is getting everywhere.
You know, if I were to show this while I was on my routes, these people would come here in droves to your store.
I feel like they already do, but if you're in some new routes, that would be great.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
she's like
I
clapping her
travel
fan. Like,
everywhere. I travel everywhere and I see tons of people. And this is a great, thriving city, a place or a hub where people would want to come, have a good time, stay. They would love to come visit a place like this. You will get so much more business.
Maybe mention where you're going right now.
And I am also headed to, where am I going? I don't know where I'm going.
We're going to the Citadel.
Oh, and I'm actually on my way to the Citadel to go trade with some of the, are they affluent there? I don't know.
Yes.
With the
They're
more
they're
affluent,
important people.
important citizens, denizens, whatever you want to call them.
roll an
Denizens.
insight real quick.
Insight. Moshi doesn't pay attention. I have no idea what we're doing. Insight?
Yep.
Come on. Okay.
So you see at the mention of the Citadel, you lost some charisma points with her essentially. As her expression does sour a little bit, and she's like, yeah, they do have they do have some status, but their taste and style is that of a street rat. Those wizards
no.
always come through here and just asking for my wares just to rip them apart and use the gems as they please.
What? Who does that? Vile, detestable. I cannot believe they would do. Why? Oh, I cannot believe I planned this trip to go up there. It sounds like a waste of time.
And she's like, you wouldn't. I'm so happy I was able to warn you for it.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, let me tell you, if I took this necklace and showed these guys and said, look what this can do without being dismantled, and then take it with me on all of my other travels, and then get them of actual good taste to come visit your store. What do you think?
She's like, I would love to set the record straight with them, but I still won't do less than 10,000 for you. God, I even thought of that necklace going up to the Citadel just first.
You're the Prime Minister.
What?
The Prime Minister.
So you've been
What
up
about
there?
the Prime Minister?
Well, no, because we're working with him. Be like,
We are?
oh, well, the Prime Minister is going to be like really upset he didn't get to see this beauty or something.
Oh, okay,
Isn't
okay.
he rumored to
Yeah.
be dead?
Oh, is he?
Like everyone thinks that he's dead.
Moshi just feels another tug on his hair.
Yeah, just hold on. Well, that's a shame because I had a meeting with the Prime Minister and I was going to show him, the finest of the area and the finest shops and the finest goods, and to tell him, what merchant things have been going really well. And,
So,
I could also, I could totally tell him too about the Citadel and about how they're just lack of respect for the jewelry.
roll a persuasion.
Persuasion. I have good persuasion. Come on, persuasion. Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes. And that 20. Yes.
+7.
+7.
Devious.
Hold on.
Ooh, man. Come on, how did you roll 23? Get out of
What? She also got a nat 20 on her insight.
here. No, doesn't count. I have a shade with me. That's bonus points. Come on. Come on.
So it is only a
on.
23 though.
It is only a 23.
Yeah, and I have 27.
So,
still
as you
win.
were talking and mentioned the Prime Minister, her fan, like, starts flapping her, and she's like, I heard he did come back, and you have a meeting with him? Oh, everyone thought he was dead. It was the worst thing. And, yeah, definitely putting on a show, and she's like, I mean, I guess I could just go down to 3,000 for you, but then just say you bought it for 10,000.
Oh, of course. I would never do anything to harm the reputation of your beautiful, well, successful, established shop. Trying to come up with a better synonym for shop, but that's about all I can come up with right now.
Insert more eloquent word here.
Yes, insert more eloquent.
And she's gonna be like, I wish all of my customers were like you.
Oh, you don't have to. Oh. Well, here you go.
And you're giving her 3,000 gold?
Yeah, why not?
Do you have it?
I don't know. How about I give her a ton of gold and then I leave really quick? Here, I'm gonna take out like 200 gold and I'm gonna like drop it by accident. I'd be like, I'm so sorry. Oh no. Oh no.
Why don't you guys roll a sleight of hand? Am I thinking you guys are gonna do a drop, grab, and run?
Yeah, that's happening. That's happening, right?
Yep.
Shade friend, that's happening, right? Oh,
The
you don't
shade
want to
is
do this now?
buried in in Moshi's hood.
You got to go all the way if you're gonna go. Okay. Sleight of hand. I have good sleight of hand. Oh. That's to make up for the fact I got an nat 20 on my last roll. So.
And you don't have your inspiration.
And I don't have it. Yeah, that's okay. I'll come up with something. No, I won't grab it. I'm not gonna grab it unless, you know.
Well, you can reach the display case from where you're at, but you weren't able to grab the
I'm not gonna.
necklace itself. You are able to reach one right next to it.
I'm not gonna do that.
No?
Mm-mm.
All right,
I will. My coins are still on the floor, though, right? Yeah. Okay. So I've only dropped 200. So, oh my gosh, I'm so freaking sorry. Hold on. Let me gather this up. This is obviously not counted. Moshi gathers it all back up. Oh, I'm sorry, and gathers up. Oh, this is only. No. Oh, dearie me, I think I've been robbed.
So by the time
all
you
that I was
guys...
saying about this. Oh no, do you have problems with this? This is awful.
She's like, all the time. And then right around there, you can see the charm is starting to wane a little bit.
You know what? That's okay. I will tell people about this fine establishment and tell them that your crown jewel, so to speak, is that necklace and that they should come here in person to come see this thing.
And she's going to be like, well, I appreciate you spreading the word, and I hope you have a very merry day.
A very day.
Gonna... and she's
okay,
like,
have a nice day. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Bowing up his car. Bye.
She's suddenly like coming to her senses, like, what happened?
Let's go. Just like running out of
The shade
store.
pops up on his shoulder again.
High five, man, or woman.
he or she
Oh, come
high
on,
five.
fun. Yeah.
Rolls eyes, high five.
Okay. So I run or not run because that's conspicuous. I walk faster to an alleyway and I check, make sure it's deserted. Is it deserted or do I have to like roll something?
What is your intention?
I'm gonna look at what we got.
Oh, yeah. So you guys, the shade has a very special necklace. The ring you guys grabbed does seem to be radiating with some sort of magic. And then you have a very beautiful bracelet.
All right.
You know what? Unlike you. You might not like me, but I thought we made a good team back there. You're pretty cool. And I know you're in Bert's shadow. but I think you deserve to be the star of the show. And I'm not being flattery. I know I was totally like milking it back there, but I don't know. I think you're better than Bert. I said that.
At the mention of Bert, like the first time, she's like huffs, and then you say, "I think you're better than Bert," and she like turns and looks up at him.
I mean, I do have to say, Bert gets kind of all the glory for everything that you guys do. I mean, I know I wouldn't like that.
She stomps and then sits back down on his shoulder.
Well, what else do you want to do? I mean, are you done? You want to go back? All right, cool. Let's just stuff this in the bag. Can I hold on to it until we get back and then I can... You want to hold on to it? That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. I don't know how you hold on to it.
It's just bundled up. It's like it's in a big like ball.
Yeah.
And she's like sitting with it like wrapped around her arm.
I think I know what I'm gonna name you. But let's walk a little ways. We walk through the alley. Well, I don't know where they're at.
And at this point,
Well, you know
the
where
shade,
they're at, right?
Yeah. So the shade's kind of like
Okay, which way?
pointing in the direction
okay.
to lead.
This way, that way.
And eventually you guys come across the fountain where the rest of the group and Sorn is sitting resting, and Denori's like looking around for you.
I have arrived. We have arrived.
The shade's gone.
I was going to introduce you. Well, Beryl and I had a good time. So
wait, what?
Beryl?
Beryl,
not barrel like a barrel, but Beryl, as in like
the stone.
Stone. Maybe that's
I love it.
That's a bad name. Barrel. Maybe it sounds better in British. British
barrel.
Like barrel. I don't know. It still sounds kind of weird. Maybe she won't.
The bracelet and the necklace are already put on Sorn. She
yes.
like got there. She and like in a flash.
No time.
The bracelet's on. The necklace is on.
We usually don't do that until we leave the town. Just so you know.
Beryl is back on Moshi's shoulder again.
Awesome. It's a good job. But I know you're super excited about it, and I am too, believe me. You were like aces back there. But like we usually don't like whip them out right away because the shopkeeper might notice. But I'll look, I mean, it's okay for like a little bit. But maybe when we move, we should, put
another quick, like a sigh,
well,
and
I know
the flames at the front that like kind of look like her hair kind of flip up for a second and come back down.
Believe me, I would wear everything and flaunt it, but it's not a good look when you have to run away. So.
And all of Sorn will float over and look at the two of them, and Did you two do this?
Oh no.
And he'll pat both of them on the head, the shade with a finger and Moshi with his hand.
Would you believe we just found them in the gutter?
I would.
Okay.
And he'll and go back to standing next to Zenori. Are we going with Barrel? They don't have to be B names. They don't have to be B
I
names.
just realized that it was a B name, and I didn't even mean for that to happen. But I think that'd be kind of funny if they were all.
Yeah.
All right.
The B team.
Oh
B
no,
team.
that sounds kind of bad, but
That's awesome. Barrel seems very content now and is
all right.
a little less
We've
a little less standoffish.
What did you find in the gutter?
nothing really, except for these donuts. You get a donut. You get a donut. You get a donut.
That smells
Ah.
familiar. I think I've had one of these already. Looking at the
You what? Like look at Barrel. Like
I think that's the
did
joke.
you have one?
Could Soren have one? I don't know. Could
Yeah.
Soren have?
Barrel, did you have one? You're sneaky. Look, you're good, man. I got to learn some things from you.
All right. Are we waiting on Aya's friend now?
Yes, maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
I don't know, man. I'm confused at this point. I'm just here.
Barrel's gonna pat Moshi on the shoulder, and I think it's probably been an hour now, yeah? Richelle?
Probably.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The Barrel dissipates, and so does
Bye,
Bert.
Barrel.
Soren, roll perception. What you guys are in.
Perception. 17.
All right, so what you see, you get a ping in your heart as you see the water ripple with what seems to be sentience, and it reminds you of your fair lady
No!
just before the water surface breaks, and a little jeweled head that it looks the Julian Thierry almost looks invisible under the water and pokes her head up. It is just like,
You went
Hello.
mute there.
oh, I said,
Yeah.
Hi.
I said hi,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the momentary excitement kind of fades away to just neutrality.
Oh.
Hi. I think I know who you are. Aya.
She's
Or Aya.
Yes.
Aya.
This would be my friend.
And I'll motion.
I'm gonna
it's gonna
fly over real fast, grab her hand, just drag her.
yeah, me too. Fly up to the edge of the fountain. Julian Thierry's gonna look up at you, Soren, and be like, "You're so much like me, but bigger.
Mhm.
Not
I was
like
thinking the
me,
same
but
thing. You're much smaller." And I'll kind of poke the top of her head.
yeah, my mistress is very protective of me for that reason. But I'm really good with numbers.
Wow. I might need you to do something for me at some point, but enjoy meeting everyone.
And she's
Actually,
gonna
no,
look
let's
over.
just do it. I'm gonna take out the bag and like kind of hide it from the rest. Count this real quick. The bag of all my gold.
So she just peeks in real quick and then says, "Shake it for me." And so you do a little shake, a little shimmy,
I
and
vary the slightest shake that I can do because I don't want Moshi hearing gold.
yeah, Moshi's ear just kind of does like a perk and a wiggle.
Do I hear it? Can I see if I can hear it?
You can roll perception.
I'm rolling stealth.
I feel a disturbance in the force.
Yeah, that's Moshi hears a disturbance but can't really pinpoint it. Like it was soft enough that it sounded distant. And then the Anteri just kind of like whispers in your ear the correct amount, just having looked at it and having listened to it. And then she
I
looks
have no
over at you,
idea, but I guess that's right.
Zunori, she looks over at you and she's like, "And you visited us yesterday and gave us the news about the late young master."
Yes. What do you know of it?
She's gonna be like, he was stealing and stealing some of the uh stuff from the miners, when they bring in their shipments. Just before they get counted and on the books, he would slip some in his pockets, and sometimes they were really valuable gems and materials, but and he would take them down to Chenogawa and sell them, kind of on the black market just to make his own profits. And the mistress figured it out really fast, especially with the head miner. But she didn't seem to want to do anything about it. It wasn't much, she said, compared to the bigger things. But I think she did it because oftentimes she'd have me eavesdrop on their conversations, and it sounded
Their
like
conversations?
every time the young master went out to do one of his deals, he'd always come back and tell the butler all about his travels. And sometimes that included who he was talking to and selling to, and that's all the mistress asked of me for the situation, would just be to listen in.
What of the butler? What's his connection to all of this besides knowing the master?
He would sometimes help hide the items from the mistress or any of the guards and help get them out of town, and the young master would take them the rest of the way, or he'd just keep the young master company.
So he was involved in the deals as well?
I do believe so, but I don't think he was how do you say, I don't think he was in control of the deals. I think he just helped when he was asked.
Is there anything else about your mistress that piques your interest?
Oh, lots of things. The way that she looks specifically at opals, she'll stare at them for hours, like they're a whole nother interest. She just starts going on this whole tangent. She's just obviously very enraptured by her mistress.
Yeah. Does do you think she feels sad because her son's gone?
Yeah, I guess that would be one way to describe it. She did love her son, even if he was a pain in the books. But um, I think a part of her hoped he would snap out of it and maybe help her run things eventually. She would say, "Has he grown up yet?"
And I just looked at the rest of the party. Do you have any further questions? I'm perplexed to no end.
I'm sorry, what are we talking about?
Do you know the names of the people that they were being sold to, since you had to eavesdrop on the conversations?
She'd be like, "Yeah, I remember them all," because she's got photographic memory. Or yeah, and the audiographic memory, or very, very good memory when it comes to names and numbers and specific things. Um, and then she's gonna start like thinking, but she's gonna be like, "But why do you guys want to know? You have nothing at stake in my mistress's business."
You see that one right there? I'm gonna point at Tsunari. He's kind of like this do-gooder, and he wants to make sure like everyone's like okay now, all things considered. Because like,
have we been in a side quest this whole time?
Yes. The situation of like how we found the young master and everything, like he just wants to make sure that you guys aren't in danger. Because like that's just who he is as a person. Like check out the gear. I mean,
She's gonna be like,
He's like shoving a donut in his face.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Oh.
the epitome of protection. Oh, she's gonna be like, well, that's very kind. Mostly it was just the same people that worked for some of the more affluent buyers. And she's like, but I do not believe we are in direct danger. The way you described how you found him, it must have not gone right. He either was either on his. I mean, it has been a while since he was gone, so I assumed that he would be on his way back, and he got attacked. But
I mean, potentially, but like maybe they wanted more, and your butler's involved, and your butler lives with your lady. So I think he just wants to be safe rather than sorry.
that makes sense. Tsunori, she does provide you with a list of the names that they have dealt with, which the DM does not have.
Does the DM remember if any of those names would pique Zenori's interest? Like government officials or affluent people?
Depends on how Zenori rolls on history.
What?
We turned in the head. Do we remember the name that was on the wanted poster?
I don't think we ever learned the name, do we?
I mean, they handed us gold over for people. So I'm assuming they were like,
true.
oh, thanks for the headless man's name.
Nameless man's head.
Bodiless head name or whatever.
So one of the hold on 2 seconds. I thought I had it because I thought I wrote it down. I probably Probably. Um, one of the names that he gives for for the families is essentially a large scale um consultation and distribution service. They work pretty high in the TCC, in the Trade and Commerce Commission, but they also work independently. They're most well known for interior design and working with affluent families and building their large mansions and palaces, and is really well known mostly in the light realm, as that is the more affluent end of the realms. But his handler's name is the same name that Ivania has been searching for his track record.
Say what? Wait, can you repeat that name again?
Ivania's like, what?
Ivania, can I hear that name? It's
Wait,
like I have it. I have it in my head. It's just it's stuck. It's like
the trafficker's name.
When there was
But I'll whisper it to you.
Okay. Well, you can just say it.
Tugan?
Tugan. Okay. There we go. I was like, Ruben? No, that's our campaign Pierce's character. Tugan. There we go. All right, Tugan. Yep. Yeah, so
what's he got to do with all this?
he was a mover. He helped move goods purchased shadily from one place to another. But the person he works for has a really big reputation, so he pays Tugan quite a lot to keep things hush hush.
Do you know anything about Tugan and his business employer?
Does she know anything? Hold on.
Guys, my cat's here.
That's rare. Oh, Pat.
Never's here.
El gato.
She'd be like that. It was a while ago. I don't remember much of the conversation, but the names they come up quite a bit. Good day. Floof. Hello, Perfloof.
Aww.
Mega floof.
Blocking your croaky.
It's my food.
Ah, that's why you were visiting. You shouldn't be like, I know they just get around is all. Sorry.
Do you know this Tugan of Vanya?
Yes. Well, not personally.
Oh, you like vodka sauce? Cool. All right.
That's dangerous.
No, we're not gonna.
Ivania would like to try some vodka sauce. What is vodka sauce?
You know what? Won't we all?
So you guys, I told you guys, right? Like I'm totally down here trying to find the guy who sold me, so quote unquote, right?
And it was this Tugan?
That was Tugan, and I'm trying to find him so I can find who he may have stolen me from.
Wait, who mentioned this Tugan dude?
Lena.
The
Gementary.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Who came out of the fountain that works for the family of the son who died.
So wait, did she say that this Tugan fella only had dealings with the son, or was it both the son and the mother?
I mean, she specifically was talking about the list in terms of who the son was dealing with. That doesn't really preclude the mother from working with this guy, but like she is loyal to the lady. So the more you press towards that direction, the less likely she probably is to tell you stuff.
The plot thickens.
Help me.
Guess we know that the butler is involved directly by helping move stuff. And
The lady's involved indirectly by not stopping it.
yeah. So she's aware, but she doesn't want to get involved. She doesn't want to stop him.
Yeah.
And
the headless man, the head that I was carrying around, may or may not have been one of the people who traded for it, but I don't know if the guards told us the name, because I think it'd be really weird if we handed off a head for gold and we were like, thanks for the head, here's your money. And like didn't tell us who it was.
I really do hope we didn't end up killing Tugan.
I will, as much as I love you guys being anxious, I will say you did not.
Okay.
The way the guards dismissed, essentially just went through it, it seemed like they were just local bandits and not really of importance, where Tugan has a reputation.
Mm. Mm. It was pretty well infamous.
In the underground, yes. He's also kind of good at his job, so.
Wait, what's he do? He steals kids and sells them or something?
Steals stuff
Everything,
in general.
it seems, yeah.
Steals and okay.
Everything and everyone he can.
Moshi feels slightly bad because he's done that, but not with kids.
Good. What was the little gem in Tiri's name again? Lena, right. Lena, is there any way you can set up a private meeting with the butler without the mistress's knowledge?
So that won't be too hard at all. He frequently has to go out and restock the kitchen and get other goods for the house and, keep things well tended. That's not out of the normal. I can go get it real quick, Amy.
And I'll just turn to everybody else. Look, it seems like its own isolated incident, but now that this name Tugan's come up, it's kind of piqued my interest. Considering this person has dealings in the light realm. And then he has a shot of realization that Natters is with him. Natters.
Before you address Natters,
yeah.
I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom.
It's like, no, it's us. Yeah, so you don't have any hard evidence, but this is potentially a lead to finding your son. And you managed to keep your emotions in check, but you were hit with a pretty big wave when you put two and two together.
Okay. In that moment, I'll have a moment of hesitation, and I'll look at Natters and say, "Do you have any news, Natters?" And I'll just check his claw or anything, make sure there's nothing tied to. I haven't even checked him to see if he has a message tied to him or anything.
He does not, but he graciously welcomes the extra pets and attention from you. Presumably because you guys were lost for a hot minute.
Yeah. I think we should follow this up anyway. Something doesn't feel right about any of this. And I'll look to Lena and say, please, with haste, could you make this meeting happen?
She's like, right away. I think, then she looks over at the dwindling basket of pastries. I think the house is out of bread. And she shoots off.
Damn, we interrogated her too hard.
Yeah.
Who's she setting up a meeting with?
The butler.
The butler.
With you and the butler? With us?
With us and the butler.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. The butler did it. We already know.
But
Someone's still
Zenora's-
counting through the pouch, like making sure that she was right.
That's funny.
You're definitely having difficulty keeping track of coins.
What is this sorcery? Zenori's going to be a bit, what's the word? Absent. Yeah. Not distant, just absent.
Kind of how Moshi was in the morning.
Yeah, you guys kind of switch. Sonori's all perky and you're all grim, and now you're all perky and he's all grim.
So are we waiting here for him?
The bedroom.
I hope not. This is not a place to meet people.
I agree.
Is there any large trees around? Can I touch them if there are?
There's some that are like thinner profiles, as well as an assortment of like bushes and gardens around the buildings that you guys are in. I mean, it's a small little hole in the wall garden.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna touch a large tree.
Okay, and what are you looking for?
Oh, I'm not looking for anything.
So why are you touching the tree?
For the future, there's a spell called teleport via plants, and it has to be like a large tree.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, so we can actually travel through trees once I learn the spell to fast travel across the realm.
Oh
so
my
while I
God.
may look crazy and touching trees,
you just think it's a
so that
perk
we
of
can come
the
talk with them.
interior. But you don't just touch trees. You just you actually go up and hug them.
Yes, I'm forming a bond with the trees so we can come out of them later. Okay.
Well, this tree reciprocates your touch.
Yay, the tree loves me.
And also, on the note of your character, and I thought about this so much, came across, sorry, tangent, Nova's Adventures on TikTok. And
Oh my God, yeah.
I was watching the video and Liam was like, it's a chaotic nature. Can't stop thinking about just the chaotic nature. Yes, Aya is chaotic nature, and I'm gonna post that in the Discord for people, so that way y'all know. It's a thing. Here we go. When we say chaotic nature, this is what we mean. All right. Is there anything else that you guys want to do while you wait for you to hear back from Lena?
I'm gonna try to identify this necklace while we sit here and wait.
The necklace does not need identify. as the material is what caught your shade off guard, it also is a piece of meteorite.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
But like, so I got this ring. Can you take a look at it?
Pulls
And I'll
out his
identify
jeweler's
that.
loan.
I'm like sitting there like looking at it in the sun.
Was there any for me? Did you
Magnifying
steal any
glass.
for me?
So eventually you get the idea that this ring channels thoughts. Like it channels, some of the communication between people.
Do I think there
Like-
needs to be another one, or that it can just kind of do it?
Yeah, no, it's not a sending ring that yeah, it just like picks it up almost like a radio.
From
People
all
around
right.
you,
Just
like a
normal
mind reading
Just
conversation.
ring.
from general vicinity.
It's like mind reading?
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
Sweet. Give me that.
gonna give it back to him, and
Interesting.
you might pick up some people's thoughts close by. Here, here. Tell me what I'm thinking. Tell me what I'm thinking. And I go like 10 feet away, and I'm just thinking blue.
Blue? That's what you're thinking?
Wait. Does he pick it up?
Oh yeah,
Does he...
do I? Oh, can I do that?
I need you to roll either a perception or an insight.
Insight's better.
So it takes you a minute, but you realize that you're not hearing Sword's thoughts. You're
Oh,
hearing
no.
bickering from the house nearby, and you realize you hear muffled yelling too. But you're also picking up on their angry thoughts, and it is all the tea about this marriage that is falling apart.
Oh boy.
I'm getting gossip right now.
Hold up. Wait a second.
My.
No way. Damn.
Something about one of the gals at the baker.
Oh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
They were pressed a little too close together at the counter.
Oh gosh. Damn, I was just there.
And so I don't think there's any other like I don't think there's any magical effect on the necklace that I got. Instead, it's just another piece of meteorite.
Correct.
Okay, cool. I know what I'm doing with it.
You do me a concern. All right. All right. So eventually, you guys see the butler walk up, and Lena is on his shoulder, and he approaches you guys, and he sees you, Zunari, and he's gonna be like, Lena said you needed to talk more about the young master. My mistress sent me away pretty quickly there. I would love to hear what you have to say.
Is this dude? Sorry, hold on, pause. Is this dude like not great? Like shady?
Roll insight.
Because well, I've got this ring and I can read his freaking thoughts now. So I just want to know if I could do that.
Roll
Okay, fine.
insight.
I have like not been listening to this side quest. Moshi just doesn't care. So like I have no idea what's going on. Okay.
So, having learned some magic from Sword and starting to get the hang of using the Aether and stuff, you channel through the ring to really try and like you're staring at him and he's like going on like a little bit uncomfortable. However, all you hear is the argument next door getting louder and louder and louder.
Damn it. Man, somebody got to tell this baker. Somebody got to warn this baker.
You okay, Motion? You talking about Baker?
If you knew what I knew about this argument happening over here.
Why doesn't he just put his shoes in the closet?
Oh no. Depths. I'm gonna leer at the butler and say, look, we've pretty much figured out your connection to everything, and we understand that you know more than you're letting on.
And she's
so build a dig.
Roll intimidate.
Oh
boy. Confidence. It'll be fine. Huh. Intimidate. Go. Can't complain.
No, that was good. Okay, and okay, Amberle, that's okay. We can start coming to a bookmark. Or do you guys just want a bookmark now before the interrogation starts, evidently?
Before the interrogation begins.
I'm okay to bookmark.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this seems like a good spot.
All right.
We are about to begin.
So it cuts, the metaphorical camera cuts as we're all leaning in at the table.
And Tsunori's just like... Actually, funny enough, Campaign 2's last episode also bookmarked right after an intimidation check.
This is true.
That's cool.
Amazing.
Funny.
I love it. But all right, so yeah, we'll bookmark this session. I know it's not going to be for at least 2 weeks because people are traveling, and then we might have one, and it might be another 2-week break, but TBD. So I'll definitely keep everyone updated. And hopefully not next week, but the week following, we'll be able to get C2 back or Campaign 2 back online. Other than that, be sure to do a like, a follow. All the support helps and is appreciated. And of course, if you're in the Bay Area, drop me a message and let's go do something. Yeah. With that being said, stay safe, stay nerdy, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye. Oh no, my Streamlabs. I don't know what's going on.
It did lag.
It do a lag. It do a big lag. I have no UI right now.